Let's now get into the nerdy part, the technical
Okay.
elements.
Yeah.
I know that you have been thinking deeply about some specific areas lately. What's a big shift or trend, if I may say, that you are currently seeing in analytics, AI, or even in leadership? Something that you think is really important for people to understand right now to be competent with this era?
Yep. For sure. I mean, I'll cover both, but I'll probably focus more on the leadership side. I think the audience hopefully will find that helpful. Clearly, there's a seismic shift in what was traditional data analytics with the introduction of large language models. That's obvious. Everybody understands that. It'll transform our entire lives, of course. In a much smaller way, the advent of machine learning, that also saw a shift in the role of a data scientist, where historically models were being developed from scratch, were doing their own coding, and technical skills were all important then. But then machine learning came along, and in a kind of way, it took some of that burden off the shoulders of the data scientists by doing a lot of the heavy lifting for them, didn't it? I remember a conversation that I had with somebody on my team who came to me and asked, what's my role now, given that machine learning is doing much of, what she used to do.
That's a real fear for a lot of folks that I come across. I mean, the question is that when the tools get better, what's really left for us to do?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I sat it down in my office and I asked her, would you prefer to be on the factory floor building widgets on the production line, or would you prefer to be in the office upstairs overseeing the operation? The answer is obvious, of course.
Interesting, I think, and at that point of time, I totally agree that she needed to see the big picture.
Yep. Yeah, I told her she was going to become a data analytics consultant, more so than ever, and applying the business knowledge and nuance that she had to the models and selecting the best option based upon that context. She needed to see that technical output through the eyes of the business. Back to the theme, right? And that's even more important than now. It's why I believe that the competitive advantage, given that everybody's going to be on the cutting edge of AI skills now, are those soft skills I talked about earlier. There will be a dozen people around you who will be able to deliver amazing solutions, but translating the relevance and value of the solutions to the business, influencing change to the business, that's always going to be needed and valued, right?
Absolutely, I totally agree to that. In fact, um, if I look at the transition that has taken place, as you talked about, for data scientists, of course, most things are now managed by tools. The models can be developed overnight. So the main challenge that remains is more of putting those models into production, which is typically most of the cases not the key foray of a data scientist. So I believe spot on there, like, helping her understand that where we can make a difference is having more business context and helping the business pick the right set of models, right set of measures, right set of evaluations. No, I totally agree to that. Connected to that, Phil. So for someone who is listening and who is maybe early in their career and worried that AI might replace them, what would you tell them? Like, what should they be focusing on right now to stay relevant?
Focus on the skills that AI cannot easily automate, which is what I've been talking about. So critical thinking and interpretation, communication and storytelling, business nuance, those sorts of things. Of course, learning the AI tools, don't fear them. You have to learn them, but leverage those skills as well will serve you well. I would also say there's a ton of value in good old-fashioned machine learning as well still.